investments in human capital development, particularly across all tiers of the state's educational system, starting with the Edo State Basic Education Sector Transformation, the Edo BEST program, which has transformed the lives of over 400,000 pupils and their parents across the state and improved learning outcomes. There has been a deliberate emphasis on strengthening partnerships with the private sector, from which we have reaped immense benefits. We signed the power purchase agreement, PPA, with Osyomo Power to provide stable power to government institutions and also drive the state's industrial sector. Today, the company generates 95 megawatts of power, out of which 55 is generates 55 megawatts of power out of the 95, which is set out to provide. This close link with the private sector has also led to the establishment of the Edo refinery, a 6,000 barrel per day refinery, which is now complete, and several private projects. We have also midwifed extensive agricultural development programs, particularly the Edo State Oil Palm Program, amongst many others, which have opened up the space for large-scale commercial farming in the state, and therefore creating thousands of jobs and impacting the lives of many farmers. There is no better illustration of the expanding private sector space in our state than the evidence, which is clear. Try and book a flight to Benin today. You'll pay premium for it if you get a seat. Try and book a hotel in Benin City today. You'll be on a waiting list if you don't book on time. When we came in, there was only one, or barely two airlines flying into Edo State. Today, we have over 12 flights coming into our airports. The state has generally become more attractive to investments with the influx of investors in areas such as real estate, hospitality, oil and gas, industries, technology, agriculture, and manufacturing, amongst others. The security situation in the state has improved significantly with the linkage of the Edo State Security Network with the federal security structure. The local actors have leveraged this partnership in terms of training, intelligence gathering, and surveillance. This has ensured synergy that has helped in curbing urban crime, banditry, and other forms of criminality. We have upskilled the training of our youths and placed them on a pedestal to actively participate in the fourth industrial revolution by capacity building and skills development initiatives, chief among which is the Edo Technology Park program, which was developed in partnership with a leading technology company that trains manpower for software companies. Our goal is that within the next 5 years, Edo State will produce nothing less than 15,000 software engineers to support our drive for technology. We have established the Edo Innovation Hub, the Edo Production Center, where we give facilities and infrastructure to small-scale businesses to come and locate. We have established the Edo as the Victor Waifo Creative Hub and Soundstage, where, as I speak today, we've been able to attract Nollywood to begin to use Edo as a production hub. And I'm proud to say, and the records are there, without fear of contradiction, that since I became governor, I've given opportunities and jobs to no less than 300,000 people. So what is the way forward? Edo State, with all its features, is very representative of the larger Nigerian state. Yes, we're one ethnic group. However, we have the same levels of diversity as you have in Nigeria. And we have the same amount of opportunities as Nigeria presents. We have demonstrated in Edo State that the political firmament of Nigeria can be altered for the benefit of majority of its citizens. Edo State has reversed the political norm of Nigeria. Voter consciousness and voter turnout reached an enviable level during my last election. Citizen participation, including those in the diaspora, local diaspora, international diaspora, in the elections, shocked bookmakers who were being sold dummies by the press. The issues for campaigns were clear and reduced to a few overarching subjects which affect our people. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, stood its ground and insisted on free and fair elections. Voter results were transmitted directly from the polling units to a central portal, and those results matched with the ones who were collated in my situation room. It is possible to scale this template to the national level. Insistence on good governance has helped us in building public trust with our citizens. By rebuilding the culture of transparency and accountability, we have reduced the level of resistance to our reform agenda. For instance, because we were able to secure the trust and confidence of teachers, in 5 years, we have been able to transform our basic education system on a scale and with a speed that is exemplary on the African continent. At least I'm proud to say that there's something Rwanda has come to learn from Nigeria, and that is Edo Best. Today, in Edo State, a 6-year-old child in primary 1 in any of our public schools can read fluently at about 70% of his or her peer in Europe or Asia. Even though security still remains a major challenge in our country, we have demonstrated in Edo State that with citizen participation, a bottom-top approach, intelligence-driven security system, and effective cooperation with federal agencies, the country can address the issues of terrorism, banditry, and small arms proliferation, amongst others. At the base of the Edo State template for growing its economy is the restructuring of the governance architecture to support business and production. Our vision is to make Edo State the choice for businessmen and women by creating an enabling environment that supports business. We have succeeded in removing bottlenecks that hinder businesses and continue to emphasize a level playing field. Today, Edo State is a haven for investments across many areas of investing. Nigeria is endowed. Edo State is endowed. Because we found out that in Edo, for instance, if you need to construct a house, a dwelling, 85% of the materials you need to build your home is currently being manufactured or produced in Edo State. Whether it is sand, chapsa, cement, where we have 2 cement companies, Boa and Dangote Cement, ceramic tiles, being manufactured, steel, we have people who are producing steel from recycled materials, roofing sheets, doors, and I could just go on and on. And that is the kind of potential we sit on in this country. So we have no reason as a country to spend the $40 billion annually in importing goods and services which we can produce in Nigeria. Edo presents a very striking example of how Nigeria can fix its intractable electricity problem, which has plagued us since the 70s. With robust partnerships with the private sector, our state has succeeded in encouraging electricity generation by attracting companies like Azura, which today generates about 450 megawatts in Benin City. The Osiamo Power, which has a potential for 95 megawatts. And what we are now doing is move beyond generation to now create an electricity market, a domestic electricity market, so that we can encourage distribution companies to come in and provide supply electricity to our people and their businesses. Currently, we are proud. We have, like the MC said, that my office, my house, the street lights, many public buildings are currently connected to an IPP that supplies us power 24/7 from gas in Oyibo. We can achieve agricultural revolution in Nigeria. We have seen it happen because in less than 3 years in Edo, we have been able to attract almost $500 million worth of investments into oil palm cultivation in Edo State. Just by allocating a first phase of 60,000 hectares of land under our Edo State oil palm production program. Nigeria has not witnessed this scale of oil palm cultivation since independence. And this has been in collaboration with the central bank. Following the efforts to change the paradigm in Edo State and the results it has yielded, which high point was the victory at the last election of September 19th, 2020, in which our people freely exercised their franchise and elected a leader of their choice. There is need to scale this political achievement to the entire country. If what happened in Edo State can be replicated in the forthcoming presidential and National Assembly elections, Nigeria would have taken a critical step to democratic consolidation. It is time to set sentiments aside. Our country is adrift. It is time to take very tough decisions to rescue our country from the brink. We must now adopt proven methods and innovations in retooling our politics and democracy and make them work for the delivery of good governance and development to our people. I thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please let's be seated. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to quickly make this recognition of dignitaries in our midst this afternoon. We have here with us Honorable Oluwole Yamu-San, Honorable Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of Edo State. We also have here with us Honorable Andrew Enwata, JP, Honorable Commissioner for Communications and Orientation, Edo State. Also here with us is Honorable Donald Okugbe, Honorable Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Community Affairs. Honorable Ethan Uzamere, Honorable Commissioner for Oil and Gas. Also here with us is Barrister Ifweku Alufokai, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Humanitarian Affairs, Edo State. Also here with us, even though she's been recognized before now, is our mother, Her Royal Highness Abiola Dosumudu Erelu of Lagos. We also have here with us Olarenwaju Aluba, representing Commissioner for Agriculture, Lagos State. Also in our midst is Mr. Kuso Osagi, SA to the Executive Governor of Edo State on media and publicity. We have Mrs. Bala Sarah, Assistant General Manager, Corporate Communications, representing the Managing Director of Nigerian Ports Authority. Virtually, we have some dignitaries also. We have our former DG, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, former Minister of External Affairs. We have also Ambassador Akinsoya, Professor Cyril Obi, and last but certainly not the least, Comrade Destiny in Nabulili, the immediate past chairman of Ovia South Local Government Area. You're welcome. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'll quickly call on the DG, Professor Ebusa Osagai, to make his presentation of gifts. The DG, sir.
May I kindly request Your Royal Highness to please honor us with this presentation to His Excellency.
Your Excellency, it is with great delight and an exceptional honor that I present this amazing, when you open it, from the DG and management of Nigeria Institute of International Affairs to you for such a most illuminating lecture that we had today. And I do hope that this will be widely circulated, especially at this point in time, so that we will know what to look for in the leaders that we're going to elect for the next general election. I had to add my own bit to it because really I'm so very proud of what you're doing there. And I thank you. And I would like to identify that is my other state too. So I'm like, I want more from Lagos, from Edo. So I congratulate you and I present this to you on behalf of the meeting.
Thank you very much, DG. I want to thank most sincerely His Excellency for this thought-provoking lecture. Your Excellency, we thank you once again. We are standing by the ground rules of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. After now, there will be no question and answer session because I know some of us would have penned down questions to ask His Excellency. But unfortunately, His Excellency is very busy and he will soon leave. There is no... Oh, you can take questions. Okay, thank you, Your Excellency. So we'll go straight to the question and answer session. You signify by raising your hand. If you have a question, you introduce yourself by telling us your name and where you're from. If you're representing an institution, you let us know. Introduce yourself properly. Thank you. The question and answer session starts now. So if you have any question, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you.
Yes, nice. My name is but there's one point I wanted to get clear. You spoke about commutual classes. You talk about banditry, we talk about terrorism, commutual classes. And I found that most communal classes are south, south, southeast. I don't usually hear of communal classes from up north. Is there a reason for it, or is there something they are doing we are not doing? Thank you.
Your Excellency, my name is Collins I report for the Voice of America. I'm a retiree from Voice of Nigeria. But let me be reasonably nostalgic while I ask this question. You were in Ibadan, the University of Ibadan, along with Professor Sarah. And I was with Radio Nigeria Ibadan, spearheading transmissions or broadcast in Edo. So the pledge you had in Edo, I translated it in 1978 June. But one nostalgic is that we met at Leventis, and then I was trying to make a little boast. And then you were there, and you overheard and turned around and said, "Into what department?" And I didn't know what to answer. I felt a bit of a shock. I think I walked away, really, literally. And I met Professor Sarah outside as he was coming in. And that has kept a friendship. So I'm seeing you one-on-one after about 42, 43 years at this close range. I congratulate you. I am a member of the, what do you call Obaseki supporters on the internet all through the election. I had to come to Nigeria to urge for you, and you can be sure that from my small community, Okinhuode, you got the votes. But then what I want to say is, there are a lot of projects that you have spread your hands on. And verily, I have come to discover that your dependence is not being on government funds. Now, to what extent is your government working to use, one, the productivity in the community? Because when it comes to cocoa, for instance, and then the lot of fruits you find coming to Lagos, they get perished, and you expect people to be able to harness this. There used to be a factory at a hall one time when I drove there. I don't know what has happened to it, but then harnessing this to add to what the state is making. First. Secondly, the application, when you talked about the manufacturing of building materials, I wonder why people still build with cement block. The laterite in Edo is the strongest. The house built by my great-grandfather, we still live in it now. And when I built my house where I live, it's about 125 kilometers from here. I didn't use cement block. I enjoy living it at Moweiba for access. Now, would you incorporate that into making sure that new towns and cities are created in Edo State? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Now, my name is Stephen, managing editor of this agency of Nigeria. I must say that the intro is certainly one of the best approval institutes in the world. Now, I would say that I found most of the issues raised, and the way you raised them must have been a manner that my professor at ABU, Balaus Mao, would say brutally frank. We are really brutally frank, looking at the issues. Well, and let me look at the way you look at the particular aspect of the political group playing on the divisions in the Nigerian system. That has been the situation for a very long time. As I said, I want to focus my own report on it later. But what I want to ask you is in respect of the ongoing efforts towards this anti-open grazing bill. Now, I want to think that is one bill that I think the government wants to promote so that perhaps it can minimize clashes and communal clashes like you also referred to. But there's already the fear among your own people that 20% of their land will be ceded to be able to take care of this particular bill that we're looking at. Now, they're already protesting. Is this fear genuine? Do they have a reason to be afraid? Please let us know exactly what is going to, what step we are going to move this anti-grazing bill through. Thank you.
Please. We're going to take one last question, 2 questions. Okay.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for this insightful lecture. My name is Ali Misalifu. I'm a research intern at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. So I don't have a question. I have a concern for the youth because, you know, in Nigeria, most of us, we are angry, we are confused, and we are frustrated. So the question is not a question. My concern is there hope for us in this country? Because, you know, my colleagues, despite the fact that there is war in Ukraine, they believe that it's even better to be there than being in Nigeria. So I'm confused. So I want to know if there is really hope for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the insightful delivery of the great speech you gave to us today. My name is Okibale Joshua, MD of General. My question is, all these great feat that you have achieved in Edo State in terms of the electricity stability and also in some infrastructural progress at the state level, what is the plan of taking it to the federal level in which you can maximize it and we can have it on a greater pedestal? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for the lecture. My name is Efemubi. Right now, I've adopted Edo State as my state because my DG is Edo. Most of my friends are from Edo. But, sir, you know, listening to your lecture, you've made Edo State a model state. And there's an aspect, mine is not really, it's not actually a question, but some form of suggestion or recommendations. Now, you see, the area about agriculture, you know, what has killed agriculture in Nigeria is the subsistence farming. And I lived in China for a couple of years. I go back and forth every day to do studies there. And what I understand about farming in China is not subsistence farming, but cooperative farming. Now, since you've made Edo State a model state, I think that kind of cooperative farming can be introduced into Edo State, such that, you see, the farming system there is also housed under the counties, which is the government, the central government, the counties, the prefectures. They are all part of it. I mean, the government is in control. Set up a cooperative system, Now, they inject money into that system, and most counties in China live on agriculture. For instance, I went to 2 counties, which is like a local government. They make like 3 billion RMB yearly. Another one makes like 2 billion just from ornamental trees, only trees. I know because their population is about 1.3 billion. Here we have less than that, but we can, use that as a yardstick to, shoot our agricultural system forward. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Chinasa Ohiri. On behalf of the women here, I want to join the previous speakers in thanking you for your interesting lecture. Just a simple question. I want to, and from your look, sir, you look gender friendly. And I want to use this opportunity to find out how many women are in your cabinet.
My name is Dr. Chris Okonafor. I am an Edo in diaspora. I am very conversant with the politics of Nigeria, and Edo State particularly. I am a political scientist, and I'm a public health expert, as it were. But beyond that, I'm a police officer. I was commanding officer here in the Federal Road Safety Corps before I left. I left as zonal commanding officer. And, but I'm still a police officer. I'm a 7th police officer in the United States. I'm more concerned with the security, the policing in Nigeria. There are a lot of things I could talk about. By the way, let me thank you for your lecture. It's beautiful, and I appreciate you. I might add this, that I did write on your behalf during your election issues. And I'm happy that you are governor today by the grace of God. Now, I see that we have, with all of these things that you have done, without security, we're still going to go back to square one. And that is the main issue that we have. But I have a problem with the vigilante system that I see that is working out here. Now, I think that policing should be decentralized. We should have police units that is not federal, or well, let me say it's federal particularly, but at every level of government. That will help us localize policing in Nigeria and help us stem the issue of insecurity in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Just the last question for now. We'll give the microphone to His Excellency to respond.
Thank you very much. Let me attempt to answer the 7 questions I had from the audience. First, someone talked about communal clashes. Why is it more prevalent in the South and not the North? I can't speak for the North, but I can tell you that the issue of communal clashes, particularly in our state, is as a result of environmental pressures. Today, you are beginning to see on lived areas that used to be forests in the past, are now areas being cultivated by people for food production. And there's pressure on that land. And you find communities, as a result of urbanization, you're finding out people going out to try and get more land or access to land. And that is creating conflicts because we haven't, our land tenure system and the land use system needs to be modernized. Productivity in our communities, I agree with you. At the end of the day, it has to be about local content. We must produce what we consume. Whether it's the clothes we wear, the houses we live in, the food we eat, the education of our children, providing healthcare, we have to provide all of these ourselves. But to the extent we continue to rely on being serviced from outside, to that extent, we always rely on foreign, access to foreign exchange, which we may not, be able to earn as we have found ourselves today. But that is where the opportunity for Nigeria lies. That we have a very, very large market. So can you imagine if we could produce on a scale what we consume, how rich and how wealthy we could be as a people? Like I said, today we spend over 40 billion US dollars importing goods and services that we can produce ourselves. But that just puts us in poverty. I mean, it's one of the issues that increasing the levels of poverty in Nigeria. The anti-open grazing bill. First, you have to understand that this has been thoroughly politicized. For us in Edo, we see grazing, we see ranching, or the beef industry as business. Just as you see poultry or piggery or any other form of agricultural business. Government has no business in business. So it's not government's role to provide land to anybody to do ranching, and we have said so. But if you, as a private individual, want to go into the business of ranching, and you have land, I cannot stop you from doing so, just as I cannot stop you from, investing in your piggery. What we have said is that we don't want open grazing. We don't want people to just graze their cattle in the open. However, if you say people should not graze their cattle in the open, what is the alternative? Are you saying that you don't want your population to consume beef? So there must be an alternative. And that alternative needs to be carefully thought out and provided for. So nobody has said any amount of land, whether it's 10, 20%, that will be given for grazing. No, I don't have that land. But however, if you want to do the business, I cannot stop you. Is there hope for Nigeria? There is hope. Nigeria is a great country. I don't believe there are not very many countries like Nigeria in the world. Because the amount of opportunities that exist here, I don't see it in many places on the continent. There are very few countries in the world that have the population we have with the amount of natural resources. I think the challenge we've had is one of leadership. How do you expand the space? And that's what I've tried to say in this lecture, which is that you require political leadership. You require citizen participation. People know what they want. So what you need to do is create a political environment, a political space for people to be able to express themselves. And you as government should guide them and help them be the best they can be. Government cannot substitute its role. The military tried it, they did not succeed. They tried to do things with immediate effect, and it didn't happen for 30 years. So today with politics, let government be in tune with the people to understand what they want, and then provide what they need for them to be able to live their lives to the fullest. How do we escalate what we have, our achievements in Edo, to the federal level? I guess these examples I have given should be the issues for debates when people come in this season to say they want us to vote for them. They must be able to tell us in clear terms, very, very clear terms, not, I will provide this or provide that. No, we must ask, how will you provide it? What is your track record from the past? If you have not done it in the past, you've not shown us evidence of delivering, then why should we trust you? Agriculture, that is the hope for Nigeria. I mean, this country, like I said, so blessed with the amount of land we have and the diversity of our ecology. There's nothing in this country cannot produce. But the biggest challenge for agriculture, I'm fortunate, I think we're on the opposite side. I don't believe in the command structure where government determines everything like in China. I believe individuals must be allowed free choice. But the issue with agriculture in Nigeria it's not, the people have remained as peasant because there has not been large-scale investments in agriculture. You need to put a lot of money in agriculture and cascade it down. People will be subsistent, there will be small farmers forever if you don't have large farms and large farmers who can pull the small farmers up, who can help them create markets, who can help them create better farming practices, and who can also create the support they need. But one big issue that has affected agriculture in Nigeria, more than anything else, is our trade policy. Our trade policy that seems to favor imports rather than domestic production. So until we change that trade policy, where buying goods from abroad is cheaper, is made cheaper than producing locally, people will always go out and try and buy from abroad. Lastly, security. Whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, the security structure and architecture of Nigeria is changing. For many years, security, until now, security used to be in the exclusive list. So most states don't have the capacity to organize security from a state standpoint. We can organize agriculture, we know how to, because it's on the concurrent list. We can organize our healthcare system, we know how to, because we've done so forever. You have always had the Ministry of Health, you've always had the Ministry of Agriculture, you always had the Ministry of, Environment and things like that. But you've never had, in most states, a Ministry of Security or security agents, that manages security agencies. So even when you say the governor is the chief security officer, what's the mechanism? What's the tool? Okay, he calls a security council meeting, but he doesn't have any real control over the service chiefs under his command. They still receive directives from somewhere else. And also, it is not possible. Nigeria is just too large a country to be policed centrally. You have to have multi-tiered policing. The federal police is important. We need to have a very strong central policing system, federal policing system. But you must not and you cannot rule out the need and the case for local government policing and state policing. It's only a question of time. Well, I didn't want to, and I just felt it wasn't necessary to answer. Because today, I am being accused by the male folk in Edo State of having sold out to women. Because my cabinet is 50-50. Actually, it's slightly more than 50. Because half of my commissioners are women. I think half of my special advisors, political, are women. And I just pray that in the next election, about 50% of our House of Assembly will be women.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please, at this juncture, I would like to call on the chairman of today's event, Professor Bola Akinterinwa, to give his remarks. Professor Akinterinwa, please.
If you choose to go to the University of Ibadan, you listen to lectures, you write examination. At the end, you either pass, meaning that the college has gone through you, or you fail because you did not allow the college to go through you. Because His Excellency Mr. Godwin has told us that God will continue to win. I have the mandate, the instruction of the Director General of the World Institute in Africa, the African Institute in Nigeria, and the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Lagos, to respectfully not ask the governor to come here to receive, but to sit where he is, to first of all receive this particular special gift. This, I can tell you that this plaque has been given to probably not up to 50 since 1961. And it is only for His Excellency Mr. Godwin Obaseki, the Executive Governor of Edo State, being the guest lecturer at the NIIA Distinguished Lecture Series 2022, for delivering a very thought-provoking lecture titled Making Politics Work for Citizens, Governance and Development, the Edo State Experience. This is an acknowledgement of what you have done. The NIIA doesn't give money, not because it does not have money, but the NIIA appreciates knowledge industry. NIIA is it's a factory for manufacturing ideas. And I can tell you that in giving the plaque, the summary of what has happened is that the focus, the objective is Edo. The technique, the methodology is Edo. The instrument is Edo. And above all, what's the meaning of Edo in this case? Edo, E stands for education. D is for determination. And O is for organization. It is simply because you have this combination of education, determination, and organization that you have the three pillars of its magic. That's what explains why Edo is thriving. That's why they are doing well. And he is now saying, for instance, what you have capacity and capability to do, why import that? This is a thought-provoking question. More than 300,000 people have been employed. But I want to plead with His Excellency that you should add one to it, 300,001. Why? Simply because one guy, his name is Kalu Moses. He's working with Radio Nigeria. He's he's blind in our own eyes, but he's not blind in the eyes of God. He decided that, oh, Governor Obaseki is coming here. I want to listen to this. And I said that since you have recruited 300,000, why not another one? Even though he has an eyesight problem, I think Your Excellency will find solution to that one. And that Moses Kalu, I don't know whether he's here. If he is there, just tie your dress to the car. So let the car drag you to anywhere. It is on this note, on your behalf, and on the directive of our capable, Solomonic Director General, I will present this on his behalf to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Bola Akinteriwa. We are coasting towards the end of today's lecture with the permission of the Director General. I want to call on Dr. Tola Ilisomi to give the vote of thanks. Dr. Ilisomi, you have it.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, the chairman of this occasion, Professor Bola Akinteriwa, permit me to stand on the protocols that have been established here today and to say that on behalf of the Governing Council of the NIIA, the Director General, Professor Ehosa Osagai, and the management and staff of the NIIA, we wish to express our profound gratitude to our governor for the very insightful and thought-provoking lecture today. We say thank you and God bless you. We also want to thank our distinguished and highly distinguished invited guests that have come from afar and honored our invitation to make this event a huge success. We say God bless you and thank you all. And we wish you a safe journey back to your different destinations. Thank you.
The national anthem, please. Let's rise to the national anthem.